Good morning. Good morning. It's the Monday Morning Money Show with your host, Billy W. Merritt. Today's co-host is Felipe Tinajero.
That's me.
Felipe, what's some of my rules that I have about, what would you say that Billy's top 10 rules are?
Always be the best dressed.
What happened?
Definitely didn't become the best dressed today.
Yep. So see, it matters. It matters. It matters. The things that I say matter, and the things that your money coach says matters. Everyone needs a money coach. I have a money coach. I have a couple of them. Russ Story's one of them. He's my local money coach.
Hello.
Grant Cardone is my nationwide money coach. I'm very careful who I get my information from.
As you should be.
Tell us about information, Felipe.
There's only two types of it. There's good information. There's bad information.
What about being the best dressed person in the room? Is that good information?
That's good information.
Okay. Sometimes you get caught slipping because I say, hey, it's time to jump on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scream in your mic there, Jamie. Still have Jamie Lopez. You're good behind the scene. You never know, as Paul makes very clear, Paul, the operations manager, you never know what Billy's going to do today. Do you, Paul?
Surprise me.
Yeah. So I said, hey, you got to be on the show. So let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about if you want to be successful. And success, I'm talking about financial success. You may be the Mother Teresa of the 21st century. Okay. But did you get your money right? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You got to, in order to be all that you can be, you have to get your money right. And the money's the easiest part. It's hard to be the most spiritual person on the planet. It's hard to be the best leader in your organization.
I agree.
It's hard to be the best and the most productive salesperson in your industry, but it's easy to get your money right. It really is. Do you agree?
I would agree with that 100%.
So let's back up 4 years ago. Where were you on a scale from 1 to 10? Where were you with your money situation? We'll say 4 years ago.
Not very good. This time, Christmas time was not a time I was looking forward to.
Give us a number.
4.
4. Okay. Do you see what I did right there?
Yes, sir. Make my answer.
Explain to people what I just did, because everybody except you just missed what I just did.
Every time you ask a question, you make sure you get the answer to that question. You control the conversation. Don't let the customer control you.
There you go. And see, if you know these things, that'll get you some more money too. So Felipe tried to elude me there when I asked him, give me a number from 1 to 10, where you were 4 years ago when your money situation. He said, not too good. That's not what I asked, Felipe.
Right.
I needed a number. What's the number?
4.
4. Okay. Where are you today in total satisfaction of your money situation today, 4 years later?
I would say 7.
That's
7.
It's not a bad number. So that's. I'm glad it was 7. I'm glad it was not 8.
No, it was almost 6.5.
Okay, all right. I'm super excited with that number, and here's why. It's much better than a 4.
Yes.
So you've made some tremendous strides.
Yes, sir.
You're a lot farther down the financial freedom path than you were 4 years ago.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. But it's a long way from where you want to be.
Right. I have from 7 to 10. That's where you really want to be at.
That's where you want to be, from 7 to 10. And do you think you'll ever hit a 10?
Not in my own head. I always have room to improve.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you can get to an 8 or a 9,
8.5, 9 is where you can really.
That's livable.
Right.
That's livable. Here's something that if you want to get your money right, and you can, that you absolutely can, the first thing you need to do is just make up your mind that you want it, that you make it a priority. Don't make sense of being broke.
Right. No, never settle.
For instance, money won't make you happy, Felipe.
Makes me happy.
Well, it may not make you happy. It may not make you happy. That's what a lot of people say. When they're trying to justify their situation.
Oh yeah.
Money won't make you happy, and it should make you happier. But being broke, will that make you happy?
No.
Being broke definitely won't make you happy. So here's a couple of things, and this is a very spur of the moment conversation because my guest, I had a special guest. It's okay. He'll be back soon. He couldn't jump on right at the right time, so I got Felipe on here with me. But here is some things that you must be if you want to get your money right. You must be nimble. Do you know what that means, Felipe?
Agile. able to move around.
Absolutely. You got to be able to move around. Okay. So if you're needed in Texas, you have to be able to go to Texas.
Yes.
Okay. If you're needed, I'll give an example of someone who's doing very well with getting his money right. Our vice president of sales, Joey Arbison, he's out on site today, and he had to be in Vero Beach, Florida,
Yes, sir.
I think 2 weeks ago. Last week he had to be in Douglas, and this week he had to, out of a request for him to, hey, here's a lot of money if you'll come help me do this thing. He was able to do that. You can't do that if you can't move. You have to be nimble. You have to get your skill set of your business has to be able to move.
Right.
If we have to stay here in the call center, we can do pretty good. But who's to say that we're not going to, for instance, our team, we have the most effective product in the car business, and we're based in Douglas, Georgia.
Right.
But I talk with a lot of people in all 50 states every week. If someone said, this is a money show, that's why we're talking about money. This in 2020, our total revenue was right at $10 million. That's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's better. So a lot of people are complaining about 2020. I'm so thankful for 2020. And, we look forward to our thing is we're going to double that in 2021. That's our goal. If someone in Los Angeles said, Billy, we need you to relocate to Los Angeles with your team for 12 months, the contract's $20 million. Would we go?
To Los Angeles? Yes, sir.
We go. We're nimble. We can move.
Flexible. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can move. So the other thing is, Felipe, another thing is you have to move fast. You have to make decisions quickly.
Right. You can't sit there and think on one thing for too long, then you miss the curve.
Contemplating is overrated. Sleeping on it is overrated.
Yes, sir.
That's one thing. Now, Paul's not on the show, but I'm going to mention him again. Paul was not used to the speed at which we move here when he first got here. Now he's coined the term adjust and adapt. Was that right? Adjust and adapt. Okay. So he had to learn, but now he's just used to it.
Right. Just flows.
He just flows with the goat. But we move fast. We make decisions fast. This morning, Paul said, hey, this website, he was looking at another website, comparing it to our website, which I want to talk about looking at the competition in just a minute. But he was looking at a website, comparing it to BillyMerritt.com. Because as you know, we're implementing the DJ Ninja chat there. We have so many things that we interact with live with real operators on BillyMerritt.com. And Paul said, hey, this website looks better than your website. Now, you would think I'd be offended by that, but I said no. I walked out of the room, didn't even tell what I was doing, and I sent a message to our website developers. I said, fix this. And you know what I'm saying?
Just to improve.
But that's another investment that we have to make. You have to be willing to invest in yourself and do it quickly. You can't, money is no good until you exchange it for something.
Right.
So if you have to exchange your money to get the product, your website better, then you're definitely need to do that. I wish I could read my own handwriting right here. Anyway, it's okay. But now let's switch gears right here. Let's recap first.
Yes, sir.
You need to be the best dressed person in the room.
Yes, sir.
You need to be nimble.
Move
You
fast.
need to move fast, make decisions quickly, and invest in yourself. I said I wanted to talk about the competition. I am looking Billy Merritt Marketing, which owns Digi Ninja,
right,
and owns this call center, owns some real estate. We're looking at acquiring a couple of different companies because we like to grow. If you're not growing, you're dying. That's the way we look at it. So when I was talking, as a matter of fact, I have a call with a VC. You know what a VC is?
I do not.
It's a venture capitalist. So let me tell you what a VC is. If anybody, man, I really wish that California love. I really wish that if Russ Story would happen to be watching right now, I'd like to get his comment on this. But those of you, I'm sure Carson knows. Terry, you can tell us about it. Sarah, you'll have a great explanation for this. 100 words or less, please, Sarah. Explain to people out there in a technical form what a venture capitalist is. Now, I'm going to give you my best shot at explaining what it is, and I think I'll be on a scale from 1 to 10. I think they'll give me a 9 on how I answer this. A venture capitalist is someone who has a lot of cash, or it could be a group of people with a board of directors that make investments for the best ROI they can get. And they look for opportunities and companies to fund that's going to give them the maximum ROI. They make a living out of investing their money. Okay. There's also a form of VCs, venture capitalists, that are called angel investors. Okay. Where they'll go in and someone has a great idea. They will invest their money. They're the angel investor. Hey, they came to save the day. Right. So these VCs, a lot of them are out in California. And I actually have a call at, as soon as I think it's 2:15 our time. I think it's 2:15 our time. They got to message me back. But with some venture capitalists who are looking at making some investments, they have some smaller companies out there that are not at $10 million revenue that they're going to try to make offers. And they want to be the middleman to give us a couple more companies to acquire, and they make money off that as well. But now their big play is they want to come in and, buy the big company, but DigiNinja is not for sale. At least he better be a very wealthy
investor,
VC. So my point of this conversation, if I can remember correctly, is the venture capitalist. Looking at the competition.
Yes, sir.
So he said, what's your competition doing? And I said, well, it's kind of weird. We don't have that much competition because we're very niche,
right? Specialists. We
are specialists, but we have copycats who have copied us. So that's basically our competition. So I had to point out a few of those people. But there was this one company that I looked at, and they actually had a couple pretty good things going on. So my point of this is, Felipe, you need to know what your competition's doing. Now, I say, in the last 12 months, I've only probably really studied the competition about one time. But after talking to the VCs, this is new evidence. This is new information, good information that I received today. You need to look at your competition at least once per quarter.
See what developments they've come with.
They may have come up with something. Blind squirrel theory, right?
Right.
Even a blind squirrel can find a nut. Isn't that what it says?
Yes, sir.
So you got to protect your nuts, and you have to be looking out and seeing what the competition is doing. They may have something out there that's a little different. They may be copying you very well in some area, and you need to know about it so you can stay ahead of them. Right. Can't spend a lot of time on it. Everybody's seen the meme of the racers. One racer's looking at the competition while the winning racers looking at the finish line. I understand you have to keep your eye on the prize, but don't just lay around and think that it doesn't matter what your competition is doing.
I agree with that 100%. Always, definitely don't spend too much time on it, but just check in every so often, see what you can take from them, see what they're doing to copy you, and ways to improve our game as well.
Yeah. So, if somebody's really in the space as a competition, I want to crush them or acquire them, one or the other. I don't, competition is not good for the company. Competition is, good for the, maybe possibly good for the consumer.
For Facebook.
It might be good for Facebook there, but you want to dominate the competition, not compete with them. Right. Sorry. Speaking of, I see you guys put a few books back here. By the way, our new studio should be unveiled, if not by the end of the week.
2021.
I hope before then. I hope we at least have the Christmas show in here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's switch gears now and talk about. Actually, this is a VC conversation. We're going to talk about stocks. You invest in stocks?
I do.
You have a portfolio. What's some of the names in your portfolio?
Tesla, Amazon, Disney, Alphabet, and Walmart.
Okay. Very good.
Apple and Microsoft as well. I don't know if I listed Microsoft, but I like Microsoft a lot.
Very good. All right. So let me see if you've been paying attention. What's your strategy with these stocks? What do you do? What do you do with Tesla, Amazon, Disney, Apple, Walmart, Alphabet, Microsoft?
Invest weekly, long haul.
Keep buying.
Keep buying. Just keep buying, regardless of up, down in the market. Keep buying.
Yeah, so that's solid right there. I wouldn't get too crazy. So that's very good. I'm glad. You don't do you own any Tesla's a little bit of a speculation, but that's okay. I understand buying it and having some of it. But do you own any Airbnb?
I do not. It's very down today.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Which sometimes is a good time to buy. But do you think you should own Airbnb?
At this point, I'm not sure. I haven't really checked into it, but I can see where it'd be a good investment for the future.
All right. What about what's this? See, Airbnb, and then what's the other one that just IPO'd? You know what IPO is?
I don't.
It's
the initial investment for the market, right?
It's an initial public offering.
Right.
That's right. That's where these companies who generally, okay, so here's the deal. A company should IPO when they need capital to expand, okay? When they need to grow. If they're making a profit, they should already be making a profit, though. If you're making, I'm glad you said Microsoft. Microsoft, their IPO was in 1987. Someone can verify that for me. I'm pretty sure it's 1987. They went public. They were already making a profit. They were making a good profit, but they wanted to expand an already profitable business into multiple places. They wanted to grow. They wanted to exponentially grow. So they needed, I don't know if it was billions, but it was many, many millions, from the public. So these venture capitalists probably got with Microsoft, took them public, and then they cashed out as the money goes up. The problem with Airbnb, and there was one other one, Jamie, that went public in the last couple of weeks. DoorDash.
I've seen DoorDash trade. It's been a fall for lately too. Last few weeks has fallen.
Well, it must not be DoorDash then, because this one just went public, and it shot up like a rocket. Who competes with DoorDash?
Grubhub.
Maybe it was DoorDash. Anyway, the point is that several of these IPOs that are coming out right now haven't made a profit yet. They've never made a profit, and they're already everywhere. So, for instance, Airbnb is in every country. They haven't made a profit. They lost hundreds of millions of dollars in the last 9 months.
Definitely don't want to buy them.
But they just raised billions of dollars with an IPO. So you have people standing in line, and when they went public, their money doubled. Their stock price doubled. Okay? Look up Airbnb for me, Jamie. Yahoo Finance is probably about the best place to go to. So why do you think a venture capitalist would take a non-profitable company like Airbnb, take them public, knowing that they've never made a profit?
Believes in the future for the company.
Okay. So now remember, Microsoft made a profit, and the proper purpose of an IPO is to expand. So is Airbnb going to expand?
I don't see how, if they're everywhere.
They're already everywhere. I mean, COVID can't be helping them. I don't see, that this is just Billy talking my opinion, right? So here's how the venture capitalists profit from that. They know that the IPO, everybody's standing in line to buy Airbnb. They're just trying to get shares. So they can raise $1 billion, invest $1 billion into the IPO. It goes public, turns into $2 billion. They cash out.
There's a day trade for them.
It's a day trade. It's a day trade. And then the bag holders are the people, the dummies, not you, because you didn't, thank God you don't have any, but the people who buy the stock and get caught. Is that it? No, I think it's I think it's the ticker's ABB. No, it's ABNB. ABNB. On y'all, I think there you go. Right there. right, so let's see. Pull up a
Down 8% today.
down 8% today. Okay, and I didn't know that before the show went on. See if you get another chart. Do the max chart right there, just down below, down right there, up right there. Click. Okay, so see where it opens. See if you can see right where it shot up 45 degrees, way over there on the far left, Jamie. All the way down right there. Where did it open at?
December 10th.
How much is that price?
144.71.
No, not what opened at 66, isn't it, Jamie?
Oh, no. Sorry.
68.
Sorry.
So it opened at $68 and shot up to, what was the peak at there? The
163.
163. So it went up $100. So if you had $1 billion in there, now you got 2-point-something billion. Okay. Now, but then everybody who bought it at 120, at 160 is back at 127.
Yeah.
You're stuck holding the bag. And here's Billy's prediction. I'm not a stock picker. I have a money coach. I'm just talking and having a conversation about stocks right now. I know how to make money selling. I know how to make money marketing. I know how to make money investing for the long haul. I'm just talking about stocks and IPOs right now because it's kind of an interesting situation. But the future of Airbnb is not going very high. They lost $119 million in the last 9 months or something like that. Lost $119 million. So, now, but here's the counter argument. Okay. Amazon was unprofitable for a long, long period of time, but they kept getting so much investor money from Wall Street, money so cheap that they could continue to lose money and drive the prices down and take over the world, which they have. I don't see that happening with Airbnb.
No.
Airbnb is not the Internet of Things. And if you have something you want to lease or rent out, you can do it on Facebook. You don't have to have Airbnb the way we really need Amazon. I mean, there's nowhere for them to grow to. In my little opinion, right?
I understand.
So, but that is pretty crazy that Airbnb. Do you know how Airbnb was started?
I honestly don't. I've been looking at the company too much.
Okay, so the inventor, and he may still be the CEO. I'm not sure, but he was one of the founders of Airbnb. If I'm not mistaken, he was in college. I know the second part's right. And he got some air mattresses and he inflated the air mattresses and rented out air mattresses in his apartment so that he could pay his rent. Now, that is a cool story. I'm not mad at the guy because he went public and they doubled overnight. If I was him, I would make sure that I could sell my stock when it got to 160. But that's a pretty cool story to go from broke to, whatever. Let's say the market cap is right there, Jamie. Market cap is $76.38 billion. So almost when it was at when it was at 160, when the price was at 160, that had to put the market cap at around 100 billion. I'm sorry, 100 million. 100 million. 100 billion, 100 billion, which is a tenth of a trillion. There's only like two or three companies that's ever crossed the $1 trillion mark. You own a couple of them.
Amazon,
Apple, Amazon. I think Microsoft has been up there. All this is coming from the top of my head now. So if I'm off a little bit, don't hold it against me. But my point is to be 1/10 as valuable as the most valuable company on the planet, or one of the most valuable companies on the planet. That's saying something.
That's a big step
for you to have never made a profit, especially. Do we have any comments over there?
We got a couple. Sarah Stalker says, "Good morning, fellas. Sharp dressed men."
Mm-hmm. Only thing sharp about Felipe's is his hat.
That's right. I like my jacket.
Terry Gibson says, "Money isn't everything, but it is better than the second thing."
Yep.
Carson Henry says, "California love."
California dreaming.
And then
Biagi.
Okay, very interesting.
I think she's from Germany and she is a fan. I think she sends us cookies.
Like Germany?
She sends us cookies and Christmas presents. Anybody want to send us some Christmas presents? Please feel free. By the way, if you want to buy some Christmas presents, you can go to billymerritt.com/shop.
Links in the comments.
Somebody already got a link in the comment right there. Pretty cool. Who put that up there?
I did.
Oh, look at Jamie. Jamie showing out. By the way, where's our normal producer, Smith?
Smith's on vacation.
Is he?
I think he's doing some commission work, he said.
Is he? So, back to being nimble. And this isn't about making money, but it is pretty cool because we do live in a consumer economy. You understand what that means, Felipe? What a consumer economy is?
It's a buyer's market.
Well, so I'll give you an example. Back in 2007, when we had the Great Recession, the financial markets collapsed. I was at a dealership doing an event, a direct mail sale, and we count on banks, finance companies, lending institutions giving the buyers a loan to buy a car. We'd spend all this money on mail, and overnight, all the lenders said, we're not doing any more loans right now. And that's when they had to bail out the big banks. All the big banks were being funded. I mean, all the small banks were being funded by the big banks, but a lot of the big banks were in the car dealers, loaning monies for car deals, and they stopped overnight. So that meant we went from, we had customers coming in, they were willing to buy, but the banks would not give them a loan. That was tough. So that's when you heard about them bailing out Wall Street.
Yes.
Lehman Brothers, the biggest bank, one of the biggest banks at the time, who they say created the financial crisis by coming up with these financial products to invest in, and that were very volatile, and there was no value there. They were bunching them up and selling them derivatives, I think, and selling them to other countries. Other companies would buy them. It backfired on us because all the value, there was nothing there. It was a bubble, which is, by the way, what Airbnb is and what your Bitcoin is. You don't have any Bitcoin.
I don't have any Bitcoin.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I'm gonna get some hate on the trashing on Bitcoin right there. But Bitcoin is a bubble, and somebody's gonna get stuck holding the bag when they buy. If you buy Bitcoin for 19,000 and it falls back to 10,000, you're gonna be
not me.
You're gonna be standing there saying, "Man, wish I'd have had something different." But anyway, the financial collapse. They stopped lending money overnight, and they had to print some more money, and they had to bail out the big banks, big institutions, too big to fail. The whole debacle there. And our president at the time, George W.
Bush.
George W. got on there. He sent out checks. I think it was $800 checks. Like we got the stimulus package we got the other day was what, 1,200 or something?
1,200.
Okay. George W. sent out, I think it was $800. And they're like, what are we supposed to do with the money? And he said, go out and buy a TV. Go out. So that's what a consumer economy is. It means for this economy to grow, because every economy needs to grow. That's the whole idea of economics, is every economy needs to grow, or consumer economy especially. It's not because, our money's not backed up by anything. Right. It's fiat currency. Okay. So that means we have a consumer economy. The economy only grows if people spend money, if they consume. That's what a consumer economy is. So the reason you hear all the people freaking out about the shutdowns and the lockdowns and things like that is because the economy will tank if people aren't out spending money. So what the Fed does is print more money.
And send checks for them to spend money during the...
That's right. Now, that causes inflation, but it looks right now like inflation's very small. Here's my theory. Again, this is the Billy Merritt Money Show. You can disagree with me. You got an expert that wants to get on here and give me another reason for this, then I welcome that expert on here. We'll get Russ Story on here next week and see if my theory holds up against the expert Russ Story. So the reason that there's no inflation showing up right now, according to Billy, is you have companies like Airbnb, like Grubhub, like DoorDash, all these consumer companies that are getting all this cheap money from the Fed, okay? They're actually able to sell their products and services at a loss. Remember, I just told you these companies combined probably lost a quarter $250 million. They've lost hundreds of millions of dollars in this year. So that means that it's falsely a low price. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? If they had to charge what it takes to make a profit, then prices would be higher. So they would have to charge the restaurants or the consumers more. The restaurants would have to then in turn charge us more, and it would cause prices. So that all this free money is masking the fact that there is inflation. There really is inflation, just pumping trillions of dollars. And it's like in this year, I think we've added. You can look this up, Jamie. In 2020, how much money was added to the economy? So it's going to be like 4 times as much. I'm guessing again. In 2007 and 2008, like people freaked out when they spent $1 trillion or 800 million back in 2008, and now they're just pumping. I tell you what, read that right there, Jamie. The headline. Go back up.
U.S. is printing money to help save the economy from the COVID-19 crisis, but some wonder how far it can go.
The Federal Reserve is creating dollars from scratch at an unprecedented rate, one of many tools to rescue the economy amid the coronavirus pandemic. So here's what they're printing money. They're creating money out of thin air and pumping all this money into the economy. And then, and hopefully they're loaning the money to businesses like Airbnb, like Grubhub, like all these companies that are they're taking this money because it's cheap, basically free, hopefully creating some jobs, hopefully paying some people. They're putting their product out there at a loss. People are losing, these companies are losing money to sell their product. And that's artificially keeping prices low. But what happens to every bubble?
Pops. Eventually pops.
It bursts. So now, you know me, I'm an optimist. I'm not on here preaching doom and gloom, but I'm telling you, all bubbles pop.
I'm 100% with that.
All bubbles pop. The question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready for the bubble to pop? And how will you fare when the bubble pops?
You gotta be prepared for that.
You better be prepared. You have to have your money right, man.
If not, you're going to be
So
a very sad person.
So, now do not freak out, Felipe, when all the combined, when your portfolio drops 50%. Don't freak out, because it could happen. I hope it doesn't happen. And I have some stop losses put in mind with my financial advisor in case if it goes down, I don't know, 10%, something like that, he sells, and they're all focused on the trends and things like that.
Right.
But do you have any gold or silver?
I do not.
All right. Finance investment, according to Billy, buy gold and silver. Gold and silver is very low, very valuable, very, I hate to use this word, but very cheap right now.
So I didn't know the price of it right now.
Yeah. Of gold or silver?
Of gold.
Gold's around 1,800. If the bubble pops, or when the bubble pops,
Goes up.
your gold will definitely double. I'm not a gold bug, by the way. I don't own a lot of gold. I'm not running around, buy gold. I'm just saying, if you're concerned that there could be, if you believe that every bubble will eventually burst, and you think the evidence is clear that we're in a bubble, then it would be a great idea actually to have some gold and silver. You don't have to have a ton of it.
Backup money there.
25%. Here's an idea. Buy gold stocks or buy gold indexes like GLD. Pull up GLD. He's on Google trying to find Yahoo Finance.
GOD.
GL. Golf Lima Delta.
Stock price.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll pull up. Gold. Okay, that's fine. That's the Gold Spider Trust right there. All right, so you see how it's down.
Yes.
Now this gets me excited. It doesn't make me upset. I own some GLD. Okay, but GLD is based on the gold currency and what it's worth, and I think they own some gold mining stocks. So as these gold mining stocks go up and down, that gold trust right there goes up and down. I don't think there's any possible way that it goes down much further than that. So I'm all in. I'll back up the truck and buy a bunch of that at that price right there.
Oh, that's not a bad price. 171.
See what it does over time.
Just goes up.
And see that dip right there at the end. So what that is, go to that peak right there, Jamie. It was around 20, should be around 2,000, 2,100 bucks. What would that show us?
Or 190.
Oh, I'm
190.
sorry. That's 190. That's not gold price. That's fine. 190. So what that is, that's probably back in March. Do it 1 year. So what was the peak right there? Was that
August.
August?
Yep.
So okay.
193.
Go to gold price. That's obviously the Spider Trust was doing well even in August, because I think gold dropped before August. Gold price. Get a chart. That's fine. You can click on that. That's fine. Click on that right there. Yep. All right, let's see if we can put 1 year in that gold price right there. Did the same thing around August. Okay.
August, yeah.
So, I was thinking wrong, but anyway, at August right there, gold reached its peak and then started dropping. What it was, people were, and I thought it happened sooner than this, but people were pouring into gold because of all the printing, because of all the money that was, all the money's being created. They were anticipating, they were anticipating inflation. So people were rushing to gold. But from August till now, it's been kind of on a downward trajectory right there. That excites me if you own gold, or actually if you have some cash to buy some more gold. I would say, again, according to Billy, I'm a sales expert, not a financial investment expert.
Right.
Don't listen to me unless you want to. I would back up the truck and buy some more gold right there. Silver the same way.
Checking it. I always look at the company's RSI, the stock's RSI.
That's a gold company.
Oh no, anything's company like anything over 70 on the RSI is said to be overbought in the market.
I got you.
Anything under 40 is oversold. So I try to get around 50 to anywhere from 45 to 65. Try to buy from there.
Right.
It's over 75.
But now let
Hold
me back up and make a point right here. How we got started on this when I asked you if you own some stocks, and you said yes, you did. You only told me about 6 or 7 names. I think that's perfect. I think you find you 6 or 7 companies that you believe in, and then you just buy. Because the reason I told you don't be upset or don't be surprised if the value of your portfolio drops, that's fine. Just keep buying,
right?
Because they will come back up.
Absolutely,
they will come back up as long as we still have an economy, as long as we still have a stock market. Over time, they will continue to come up.
All these things have went up. Tesla's probably the biggest gain from the past year. It's split
in the past year. Yeah,
split 4-1 at 2,100, and it's already back up to $610 a share.
That's pretty strong. On a rocket ship ride.
Yes, I made a lot of money from Tesla.
Yeah. Surprised if it drops in half.
I'll be all right with it. I'll trust Elon a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the deal, man. I do have to jump on with some venture capitalists here in just a little bit, and I got to make a call out to my buddy in Texas. Be nimble. Understand that your network is your net worth. Call on people all over the country. Expand while others are expanding. Expand while others are contracting. Always expand.
Yes,
always. And we'll be right back here tomorrow with a sales show. It's going to be the Digi Ninja Sales Academy, 11 o'clock right here tomorrow. Can't wait to see you there.